Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2013 Star Student Banquet, sponsored by the Optimist Club of Jasper, Georgia. I want to especially welcome all of our Star students, their parents, and you teachers who have worked so very diligently to bring them to the point of achievement that we honor them tonight. For more than 20 years, the Optimist Club of Jasper has sponsored the Student Teacher Achievement Recognition Banquet. This banquet recognizes the top 10 students across Pickens County, the seniors of Pickens County. And they have to reach a certain criteria. That criteria being these students must have achieved the highest point scores on the Scholastic Aptitude Test, better known as that SAT. And additionally, they must be in the top 10% of their senior class. I want to take this time, an opportunity to thank our club members who have worked so diligently, and other club and other community workers that have worked so hard to put together this banquet for the several past years. And they have worked very diligently to prepare tonight this banquet to honor these people that are so deserving. But at this time, I would like to especially thank a certain person, that being Mr. Rita Birch. He is our current Star Program Chairman, and he has been in this role for the last several years. And without further ado, as we move this thing along, Mr. Rita Birch, would you please come and introduce our guest? Mr. Rita Birch.
Good evening. Glad that everyone can be here tonight. I want to recognize several special guests that we have, and a lot of these people have supported the Star Banquet over the years. And I'll just start with our Pickens County Commission Chairman. I had to change his title this year. Mr. Rob Jones and his wife Diane are here. Thank you, Rob, for being here. He's supported us for several years. This next group of people, I like to say they enjoy this banquet because they spend their day in court and don't get to see as fine of young men and women as they will tonight. So we're really proud of the way this group supports our STAR program. But we'll start with our Chief Superior Court Judge, Brenda Weaver. Judge Weaver is also the Region 2 STAR Chairman, and the Region 2 STAR Banquet will be March the 19th. And our STAR student and STAR teacher will participate in that banquet. And hopefully they could be a winner and go on to the state from there. But thank you for being here, Judge Weaver. Along with Judge Weaver is Judge Amanda Mercer, Judge John Worcester. And I had to go to Massachusetts to learn how to say that, Judge. I went up there and pronounced it incorrectly, and they reminded me that I wasn't in the South. I was in Boston, and I need to pronounce that a little different. So, we're also glad to have tonight our newly elected District Attorney, Allison Sosby, and our probate judge, David Lindsay, newly elected. So thank you all for being here. Rick Jaspers, who has supported our club, was our guest speaker last year. He's here with his wife, Marcia. From ETC, and ETC, as many of you know, they really support the community in a lot of different ways, and we appreciate that. They do a lot of work with the school system. I know as having sons that have played sports, it's nice to be able to go back and watch those old games and relive some of those memories with my older son especially. But we're glad to have from ETC Lisa Waddell and her husband Mark, Jason Smith and his wife Kelly. From Chattahoochee College, and couldn't ask for a better place to have a banquet in Chattahoochee College. And we appreciate the host, the hospitality they give us. And David Simmons is here tonight. From NoPickens.com, and you probably see her with a camera, or there she is, Mary Livesey, and we appreciate her being here. And you can go to NoPickens.com and see some of this probably later tonight, if I know we're ready.
It's already on there. What do you mean?
Yeah. I hope it's not live. So. From the Board of Education, our superintendent, Dr. Ben Desper, and all of our board members are here tonight. Wendy Lowe, Byron Long and his wife, Elisa, Peggy Andrews, Dan Fincher and his wife, Elaine, and Mike Coward. From the high school, we have Principal Eddie McDonald and his wife Joan, Assistant Principal Harold Culbreth, and his wife Gail, who I think we're going to have to start charging her for coming. She's a regular participant in tonight's event. Glad to have you here. Also Assistant Principal Shannon Gable and his wife Margie. And a special person in this group is Terry Civic. Is Terry here? Oh, there she is. Okay. Terry is in the counselor's office and one of our counselors at the high school. And we could not do this event without them. They're the ones that determine who our star students are. And Terry and I emailed Lott to get some things in motion to make sure that she did a great job of getting information out to the students and teachers. And I appreciate everything you did, Terry, to help this night come together. So, from our other schools, we have Neil Howell, the principal at Jasper Middle School, Deborah Longshore, the principal at Tate Elementary, and Sherry Martin, the principal at Harmony Elementary. We're also honored to have our state page star coordinator, Lee Rodonis, here. Lee is at the head table, and he lives in Big Canoe and has been a supporter of our local program. We appreciate him being here. From the Chamber of Commerce, we have Denise Duncan. We don't have Denise. And we're our guest speaker, who will be introduced later, Ashley Preisinger and her father, Dr. Bill Glazebrook, are here. So again, we're glad everybody could be here. We look forward to the night. And now I'll call on Jim Kirk to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
We gather this evening, our Father, to honor these young people who have excelled in their kingdom. They have used the talent and ability you have endowed them with to better themselves and their community. While they have made these accomplishments, it has been with the help of their parents, who have believed in them and encouraged them to be all that they can be. And we will not forget the teachers who have influenced and encouraged them in their field of endeavor. Now, as we fellowship together this evening, we ask that you bless the food to the nourishment of our bodies and strengthen us that we may continue to make our community a better place to live. It is in your name we pray. Amen.
Get to the part of the program that we're here tonight. Before we do that, I would like to take a few minutes to thank some people who helped put the Star Banquet on tonight. Without them, we could not have done it. We have a committee that works together, but I want to thank Sue Alton. Sue, she is a key ingredient in putting this together. She coordinated with the Woodbridge Inn. She coordinated with the Bay Club. She sent emails and reminders and kept crossing the T's and dotting the I's for me, and I appreciate that. And I'd like to also thank Tom Eubanks. Tom couldn't be here tonight, but Tom has done our program for as long as I can remember. And about 6 months ago, Tom had an illness, was in the hospital. And to be honest, we weren't sure Tom would be able to do that anymore. And, he recovered and was able to do it. Did a great job, as he always did. And I really appreciate what Tom does. I also want to thank Rodney Buckingham, who is our reservation coordinator. job with that. I appreciate your help, Rodney. And there are a lot of other people that you've seen here tonight. If I start naming names, I'm sure I'll forget somebody, but all the members of the club are real active in supporting this activity between the people that took up the reservations tonight and met you. So I just appreciate all the help that I do get. And I also like to thank somebody who's not able to be here tonight, my wife, Robin. She proofreads things. I was never a STAR student. Never won an oratorical contest put on by the STAR, by the Optimist Club. But, she comes behind me and catches those spelling mistakes that even spell check doesn't catch. But she couldn't be here tonight because our youngest son had a baseball game. And by the way, they beat Dawson County 12-0. So. A group of people that I would like to thank is our Beta Club. Miss Christine Westbrook is the Beta Club sponsor, and she helped coordinate and get the Beta Club members here. We're able to put this banquet on, and I know, $22 may seem like a lot. There's a lot of expense associated with this. We could not do it without the help of the Beta Club. And you can see these fine young ladies back here in the back who helped, and there's a gentleman somewhere. Where did he get off? And there he is. So we want to thank them for all that.
We did a quick little class for 15 minutes, and they did fabulous tonight. So thank you all.
We did. Thank you, guys.
And this is Doug Foley with the who is working with Hans now.
And Lisa is a chef over there too as well.
Thank you. I think this is one of the you guys always do a great job. The Beta Club members, you did a great job of getting the food out and getting the table cleaned off. So thank you so much. And hope to see some of you here in a year or two.
Well, they'll be working with me now. I'll give them applications in the back.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank the Pickens County Progress. It's nice to live in a small community that will put things in the paper for you, and they do a great job. I hope you saw the paper last week, but it had all the students. We're not able to put all their questionnaire responses in the program because of limited space. But the Progress took 2 full pages to put that in there, and we appreciate what the Progress does for us. And I'd also like to plug the way we help pay for this night and some of our scholarships is through a golf tournament that the Optimist Club has every year at Bent Tree. So you don't have to be a golfer because I get to play in it. So you got a set of clubs. You don't. We get you a set of clubs here done. So. But that golf tournament will be May 15th at Bent Tree. Bent Tree has been a good supporter in helping us with that golf tournament every year. So, but just wanted to give those special thanks out to the people that helped put this banquet together. And now we'll proceed with, while we're here tonight, I'm going to recognize our 2013 STAR student finalists and teachers. And then our 2013 STAR student and teacher. So, Mr. Godfrey, if you come forward, we'd ask when I call your name, if you will come, and then we'll call the student's name first, and then the teacher. And if you will pause a few minutes, and we'll get a picture of you together. So, our first STAR student finalist tonight is Miss Taylor Boggus. Taylor is the daughter of Don and Jennifer Boggus. And she is also the 2013 valedictorian. Taylor chose as her STAR teacher, Mrs. Tammy Duncan. STAR teacher, Miss Marcia, Wright. Rebecca Hyatt. Rebecca is the daughter of Jeff and Joy Hyatt, and she chose as her star teacher Mr. Rodney Martin. Teacher, Mr. Will Nix. Our next 2013 Star Student finalist is Mr. Christopher Lee. Lott. I told you I didn't win it. I told you I didn't win a speaking contest. Mr. Christopher Leicht. Sorry, Chris. Chris is the son of Jeffrey Leicht, and he chose his star teacher, Mrs. Gail Culbreth. Pretty good basketball player. Mr. Gabriel Lott. Gabriel is the son of Tony and Jenny Lott, and he chose as his star teacher Mr. Tony Young. Our next star student finalist is Ms. Elizabeth is the daughter of Randy and Lisa Ray, and she chose as her star teacher Miss Lynn Cantrell. Our next star student finalist is Mr. Robertson. Brett is the son of Chris and Lisa Robertson, and he chose as his star teacher Mrs. Angela Quarles. Our last star student finalist is Miss Amber Shields. Amber is the daughter of Marianne Garner and Tom Shields and stepdaughter of Anthony Park. Amber is the salutatorian this year for the 2013 class. So it's pretty nice we have the star student, the valedictorian, and the salutatorian with us tonight. She chose as her star teacher Mr. Kevin Jacobs. We're going to recognize the 2013 Star Student and Teacher from Pickens High School. 2013 Star Student is Miss Mollie Shaw. Mollie is the daughter of Tom and Maggie Shaw, and she chose as her star teacher Miss Debbie Grimes. responses tonight from first the star teacher, Ms. Grimes, and then from our star student, Mollie.
I would like to thank the Optimist Club for hosting the event tonight. This is one of the special activities that is done for our students each year, the star student, the star teacher, and I would like to thank all of those behind the scenes that were involved in that as well. I know it does take a lot to pull this off. It is very nice and great recognition for our students as well as Pickens High School. So thank you. It is easy to teach and have a student like Mollie in your class. It makes my job very, very easy. So congratulations, Mollie, on becoming the star student of the 2013 graduating class. And thank you, Mollie, for the honor to come and be with you tonight. And we all know that Mollie excels academically, and you may not be aware unless you've read the progress, but she also is very competitive, competes in 2 sports, cross country, as well as track and field. She's a dedicated club leader and competitor, and she's actively involved in the community through service projects. She is the complete package, and I am a fan. She has many other characteristics that I would like to share with you tonight. She has a kindness and a sincerity that's quite unique. She has a caring heart that will make her successful in her chosen field as a nurse midwife. But there are other characteristics that I've witnessed as well. Recently, I've been preparing or helping her with some of her letters of recommendation. And one phrase that I use in hers, as well as some of the other letters of recommendations, is exceptional student. And I started thinking about exceptional student. Well, as is the case most of the time, that does fall short of the full story. And I was reminded of a little boy that lived next door to us for many years. And whenever he became excited about something, and something that he thought was grand, he referred to it as stupendous. And I started thinking about that word, looked it up, and it says, astonishingly great. And after thinking about that and thinking about Mollie, I concluded that I think we'll come up with a new term and call it Mollieism. And the definition is going to read, one who is above and beyond exceptionally stupendous. I think that would define Mollie quite well. But most importantly, Mollie has this most unassuming attitude concerning her many accomplishments, as well as the top spot in this elite group of academic powerhouses that we're celebrating here tonight. And that's pretty special right there. Now, I recently learned that Mollie was homeschooled and taught by her mother until she was in the 8th grade. So, Mrs. Shaw, Mr. Shaw, I'll share the star teacher honor with you, as I'm sure you've been one of the biggest influences on her success to date. Now, fortunately for us, Mollie attended Pickens High School. I've been blessed and very fortunate to have had her in my class 5 times. And I'm reminded by what the late Tommy Lasorda said. And for those of you that don't know who Tommy Lasorda was, because you're much too young, he was the previous coach of the LA Dodgers baseball team. And I'll quote him. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in determination. Now, Mollie has a great deal of determination as well as perseverance, and she's put herself into this position that she's in tonight as a result of that. They don't get here by accident. It's taken a lot of hard work by all of them. So congratulations, Mollie. I'm going to wish you the best. I'm expecting great things from you and know that I will not be disappointed. Congratulations to Mr. Shaw. Congratulations to all the other stars in the room. I would like to leave you with one more thought. Over the years when I've attended the Department of Education healthcare science meetings, our state supervisors would always remind us, do a good job in the classroom, because ultimately your previous students will be taking care of you. Now, working in the healthcare field and teaching students who have an interest in going in that direction, you take that to heart. So I took that pretty seriously. And I've already experienced some of their knowledge and skill as a patient. So, and I've also had 4 others, top students here tonight in my class over the past few years as a result of, you know, their future interest in going into the medical field. So let me reassure you, we are all in good hands. They will do a fine job taking care of us, physically as well as financially, because we need those good salaries too, don't we? So, I love you all, wish you well, enjoy your night of honor and celebration. Thank you.
I was so surprised and so excited when I found out, and it's just such an honor, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it. I also want to introduce my parents, Maggie and Tom Shaw, and you guys, I want to say thank you, because I really couldn't have done this without you, and you guys have always told me I could do it, and always believed in me, even when I really wasn't sure that I could do it, so thank you both. And I also want to say thank you to Ms. Grimes, because I chose Ms. Grimes as my star teacher because she truly cares about each and every one of the students that comes through her room. Because she doesn't just care about what happens while you're there, she cares about your future and how you're going to get there and how she can help you to do the absolute best that you can. She always has time for each and every one of us, even when she doesn't have time and she's running around doing 100 other things. She's always willing to stop and make time for you. And that's something that's really special. And I've not only learned so much from her, but her classes have also helped give me a direction for what I want to do after high school. Because they've taught me what a passion I have for healthcare. And because of that, I'm going to be attending the University of North Georgia in August to study nursing. And after that, I plan to go to Emory University to get my certification as a nurse midwife. So I can work as a midwife and become a medical missionary, which is another dream of mine that I'm going to get to fulfill because of this. And while I'm at North Georgia, I'm also getting the opportunity to run cross country, which is another dream of mine that I've wanted to fulfill ever since I started running college. And I wanted to say thank you to both my coaches. They couldn't be here tonight because it's our first track meet of the year. But Coach Dunn and Coach Roper, I would not be even close to being able to run in college without them. So I wanted to say thank you to both of them. Over the past 4 years, and really the past 18 years, I've had such an amazing group of mentors and teachers and community leaders and parents to really just lead me and guide me and love me and get me where I am today. And I feel really, really blessed to have all of you. And I want you to all know how much I appreciate it. So thank you, everyone.
I'm the Secretary of the Optimist Club of Jasper. And it's my great pleasure tonight to introduce to you all our keynote speaker, Ashley Preisinger. Ashley graduated from Pickens High School in 1989 as valedictorian of her class. She then attended and graduated magna cum laude from Georgetown University in 1993 with a bachelor's degree in international politics. Ashley received her MBA with honors in finance from Emory University in 1996. In 2000, she received the Chartered Financial Analyst designation. Ashley worked for 11 years and was a partner at Invesco, a global investment management organization. Excuse me. She then served as a director of client development and marketing for the independent wealth management firm of Honorees. Ashley was named, this is very important, listen to this everyone, Ashley, because she has broken a glass ceiling, Ashley was named CEO of the WNBA Atlanta Dream on October 1st, 2012. In her role with the Dream, she oversees all aspects of the team, including sales, finance, and basketball operations. In 2008, Ashley was chosen as one of Atlanta Business Chronicle's top 40 under 40. In 2010, she was selected to participate in Leadership Atlanta. She is actively engaged in her community and currently serves on the board of directors for Zoo Atlanta and was co-chair of the board of trustees for the Georgia Shakespeare Organization in 2012. Ashley lives in Atlanta with her husband Mark and 2 daughters. Join me in welcoming Ashley Preisinger back to Jasper.
Thank you so much for inviting me tonight. Thank you to Sue and to Reader and to the Optimist Club. It is just such an honor for me to be back home and see so many friendly and familiar faces. Congratulations again to all the finalists. I'm so proud of all of you. What an impressive list of accomplishments you've already started to achieve. And a big congratulations again to star student Mollie Shaw and to star teacher Mrs. Debbie Grimes. Let's give them a round of applause. Is the president of Disney ABC. Fortune magazine called her one of the 50 most powerful women in business, and Forbes named her one of the world's most powerful women. In a recent interview, she shared an insightful story. She was strolling through the farmer's market in San Francisco, and at one of the booths, she saw a piece of polished steel that was etched with the following question: what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? What would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? In a blinding flash of the obvious, she said, I knew the answer, a lot more. She then asked herself, why not act as if I wouldn't fail? In Anne's case, she always wanted to paint, but she was afraid. She was worried that she wouldn't be any good. Now she paints. She said it might not be as good, but in the end, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that I try. I try as if I wouldn't fail. Isn't it interesting that one of those powerful women in the world harbors fear of failing? So let me ask you a question. What would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? In the time we have together, I want to briefly share a little about the journey that's brought me to this point in my life, but only briefly, I promise, because this is not about me, this is about you. But I want to share a few decisions that I made and lessons that I've learned along the way, key inflection points in my life. And my hope is that I can spark a few ideas that will cause you to pause and to reflect and perhaps ask, what if? To start at the beginning, most of which was covered, and so if you don't know my background, I grew up in Jasper, a proud graduate of Pickens High School. Our family has deep roots here. My mother's family, the Ropers and the Morrisons, have been in Jasper and the surrounding area for over 150 years. And my married family, the Preisingers, have resided up at Bent Tree and been here for almost 40 years. My grandfather, Dr. E.A. Roper, and his brother, Dr. C.J. Roper, opened Roper Hospital in the early 1940s. For the next 45 years, they delivered and cared for about 60% of the population of Pickens in Gilmer County. My mom and dad and I actually lived with my grandmother and grandfather on Main Street for a few years in the mid-1970s while my dad, Dr. Glazebrook, was starting his own surgical practice, and my mom was commuting from Jasper to Emory University to attend law school. During that time, I have many fond memories of the dozens of patients who would come by the house to bring presents to Papa. homemade apple pies, muscadine jelly, buckets of fresh tomato and okra and corn, farm fresh eggs, and even on the rare occasion they would bring the actual hen that laid the eggs, or the newly born calf. It wasn't until I got older that I realized that these were not gifts, but they were actually a form of compensation for medical services that he had provided to those who were in need, but at the time could not pay. As I grew up in Jasper, my dad's medical practice grew. My mother went into private practice as an attorney for a while, and then while I was in high school, she served as the juvenile court judge for several different counties. Let me repeat that for emphasis. While I was in high school, my mom was the juvenile court judge. It was not very popular. In 1989, she was appointed by Governor Joe Frank Harris to serve as a Superior Court judge, and it's so nice to see so many other members of the bench here today. I wish my mom were here to say hello to you as well. She presided over many extraordinary and interesting cases during her time on the bench, and it made me very proud to be in her courtroom and watch her. Thankfully, it was always as an observer, never as a defendant. Watching my parents and my grandfather work hard in their respective careers and professions has had a very significant influence on the decisions that I've made. Skipping ahead to high school, as I was reaching my sophomore, junior, and senior years at PHS, I made a conscious decision that I was going to work hard on my grades and sports and academic clubs, etc., and try and go out of state for school. I asked myself, what if? And I set my sights high on several colleges, most of which I'd only heard of and never even visited. So my parents and I made the decision to apply to 7 different colleges, 5 that were out of state. And in the case of Georgetown, where I ended up going, as well as some of the other schools that I applied, I was the first student to ever apply from Pickens County High School. I won't bore you with the process, but when it was all said and done, I was accepted to 4 of those schools and rejected by 3. I mention this because it would have been real easy to say I'll never get into a Harvard or a Stanford or a Georgetown, so why even try? Particularly when the process for filling out the applications was so incredibly tedious back then, where you wrote off for an application, they mailed it to you, you typed it out, you had your white out, you corrected it, you mailed it back. It was a very long process for each application. Anyway, well, I did not get into those 2 schools. I did not get into Stanford or Harvard, but I did get into Emory and Brown and Georgetown and Georgia. And who's to say that something about the overall process that I went through didn't influence those other acceptances? Basically, I tried as if I wouldn't fail. And don't get me wrong, I have a very healthy fear of failure, and I can get very worked up about the what-ifs of how something will turn out. But when those thoughts of doubt have grown and started to overwhelm me at the big moments, I have tried to push them aside and just say, give it a go. You'll figure it out. So going out of state to Georgetown for college was one of the first big decisions in my life that really altered the opportunity set for me and broadened my world. I tried as if I wouldn't fail. While in college, I was in the School of Foreign Service and picked Russian as the foreign language that I would study and attempt to master. As you probably know, Russian is a very challenging language for a native English speaker. For one thing, it has a Cyrillic alphabet that is different, and it is Slavic as opposed to Latin, so it doesn't roll very naturally or beautifully off the tongue. So then, why Russian, you might be asking? Well, in August of 1989, when I declared this as my language, it made a lot more sense than it does in 2013. It was the height of the Cold War between the U.S. and the former Soviet Union, and by the summer of 1992, the Berlin Wall had collapsed, the Soviet Union was no more, and perestroika was in vogue. While these developments were significantly positive for our country and for our world, it did change the significance of my investment in this language. And let's just say the CIA was no longer beating down the doors for Russian speakers, as I had hoped they might be. To add insult to injury, when I got back from my summer abroad in Russia and swapped stories with friends, they talked of the Italian villas, the French food and wine, the Spanish nightclubs, all the things they had sampled on their summer abroad. I in turn filled them in on the communist-style dormitories, the lack of hot water for 3 months, because no joke, they just turned the water off for the entire summer, the 8 hours a day of classes in Russian, my lack of appetite for beets or anything made with dill, and our midnight curfews due to budding concerns about the Russian mafia. However, I wouldn't trade it for a minute, as it was one of the most interesting times in my life. And have I used Russian directly in my career? No, not really. not for all the time I invested in it. But who's to say that something about the experience I went through and the process of taking on that challenge hasn't helped me somewhere along the way. Maybe it was the discipline of such a hard language that met at 7 a.m. in the morning, 4 days a week in college. Maybe it caught someone's attention during a job interview and was a tipping point between me and another candidate. Who knows? But I took a risk by investing in that choice and investing in myself, and I'm glad I did. I tried as if I wouldn't fail. So as college was winding down, I had to make a decision about sitting for the Foreign Service exam. It is a 3-day exam, extremely intense. For those who pass, they usually go into the Foreign Service and rotate around the world, working in different embassies. If all goes well in the career of a Foreign Service officer, you might get the opportunity to work your way up to a senior role in the State Department and maybe even be assigned an ambassadorship to another country, preferably Italy or France as opposed to Russia. But ultimately, I chose to go a different way, and at this fork in the road, I decided not to go for it. Not because I didn't think I could handle it, but more because I wasn't sure I wanted that kind of lifestyle of doing desk work in different embassies around the world for the next decade. And that's a very important part of making a decision too. So I took a gap year to figure it out. Should I study law like my mom, medicine like my dad and granddad, or business? I ultimately chose business, and I went to Emory and worked for my MBA with a specialty in finance. Prior to taking the job I have today, which I'm most eager to talk about, so I'm going to move this along, I worked in the global investment business for 17 years. I worked for a large firm for 11 years, and with that came many wonderful professional and personal experiences with clients and multiple opportunities to travel to different countries. I then went to work with a smaller privately held firm where I got to work with families and help problem solve issues that they were facing and make recommendations for their investments. And it was very rewarding, and I'm thankful for all those experiences. Along the way, and particularly in the last 4 to 5 years, I made more time to increase my civic involvement with the groups and organizations that speak directly to my heart, like Zoo Atlanta, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Rotary, and Georgia Shakespeare. Because I believe, regardless of what profession you ultimately choose, and no matter how busy you get with work and family, we all do have a certain responsibility to share our time, to share our ideas, and where we can to share our resources in a way that supports the nonprofit organizations that are supporting the arts, the environment, the homeless, health care, whatever it is that's important to you. I know you probably already hear this in your homes and in your classrooms, so I don't need to mention it, but I do because it's been very important to me. And my experience in this arena, I think, played a very large role in being selected for the opportunity and the job that I have today. In October of 2012, as Sue mentioned, I took over as CEO of the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream, though just 5 years old, has been one of the most recognized teams in the WNBA. And the WNBA, as you may know, is owned by the NBA. We're part of the NBA organization. We're the 2-time reigning Eastern Conference champions, 2010, 2011, and have made the playoffs 4 of our first 5 seasons. 2 of our players played in the London Olympics last summer, Angel McCaughtry, who played for Team USA and won gold, and Erica de Souza, who played for her home country of Brazil. When you produce results, people definitely start noticing. We are a young team that plays to win, and we play with a lot of passion, and I love those qualities in business and in life. I'm constantly amazed by the parallels between sports and business and the tough decisions that you must make in both. Certainly running a professional sports team is first and foremost a business, just like thousands of small businesses across the country. We employ dozens of staff, we provide benefits, we give back to our community, and we work tirelessly to deliver the best basketball product possible that we can. We invest in our people and our business, and we take risks every day. There are exhilarating highs in doing this job, and there can be some real disappointing lows. So what lessons can you take from this? Well, there are 3 lessons that I've learned and like to share with you to consider as you all begin to enter this very exciting new phase of your life. First lesson involves letting go. In 2005, Steve Jobs, one of the greatest visionaries of our generation, delivered the commencement address at Stanford University. He talked about pivotal moments in his life, and over 15 million people have viewed this video on YouTube. He addressed something I have always believed, in that he said, "For the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today?" And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, then I know I need to change something. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice, he said. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. If your inner voice is shouting, play it safe, do the sure thing, ask yourself one question. What would I do if I knew I wouldn't fail? We all shape our destiny every day with each decision we make. It's kind of like the iron monkey bars we used to play on the playground as kids. Remember those? You would dangle from the first bar, trying to figure out how you would make it to the next rung on the bar without losing your grip and falling down. Some kids were immobilized, completely frightened to let go, and they never let go, so they never made it to the next bar. You don't make progress by holding on with two hands to the position that you already occupy. You have to let go with one hand so you can reach out and advance. You can't grow until you let go. My second lesson involves the importance of investing, but not the traditional sense like the stock market or real estate. I'm referring to the best investment of all, an investment that always pays dividends, investing in yourself. No matter how busy I get with work and family and all the things that are important to me, I never stop reading or thinking about how to grow and improve myself and the organizations that I'm a part of. Whether it involves taking a class, learning to cook, getting a graduate degree, or going all out for whatever your dream might be, which was so nice to hear Mollie talk about all of her different dreams. You are worth the investment of time and money and sacrifice. I love the story actress Angela Bassett shares about something her mother taught her as a child, and she credits it with much of her professional success. Angela got a C in PE in 7th grade. Not math or science or English, but PE. She tried to explain it to her mother by saying, Mom, a C isn't bad, it's average, and besides, it's only PE. Her mother glared at her, as only a mother can do, locked her jaw and said something that motivated Angela throughout her entire life. Angela, I do not raise any average kids. I look around this room and I hear the wonderful accomplishments of all the finalists tonight, and I don't see an average person in this room, not one. I see people filled with unlimited potential. So believe in yourself and make an investment in you. Finally, my third lesson involves failure. You may fail whenever you chase your dream. In fact, the bigger the dream, the greater the chance of that happening. So then what? You get back up. One characteristic that my parents instilled in me that has proven to be invaluable in the worlds of business and sports is simply this: no setback is either final or fatal. Not as long as you get up when you are knocked down. Meg Whitman has a philosophy on failure that is a pretty good one for all of us to consider. She was the CEO of eBay, and now she's the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. She calls it the cart in the ditch theory, which I thought was real simple, and I can kind of relate to that. She says, invariably in business and life, your cart will go in the ditch. When that happens, and it will, you take 3 steps. First, you get the cart out of the ditch. Second, you figure out, why did it go in the ditch? And finally, you implement steps to ensure it doesn't go in the ditch again. You will be knocked down in life. The cart will go in the ditch, perhaps often if you were taking big risks, but learn from it and move on. Those are 3 of the lessons that I've learned in my path so far. Let go, invest in yourself, and get back up. 6 months ago, when I was presented with the opportunity to be CEO of the Atlanta Dream, I initially felt real fear and trepidation about it. Fear about this new challenge and about leaving an industry which had become very comfortable for me, and trepidation about jumping into an industry which is very exciting, but also brand new and something I have not done before. But I decided to go for it. I believe it was Michelangelo who said that the real tragedy is not that we aim too high and miss it, it's that we aim too low and reach it. That doesn't mean life will be easy, because it isn't always easy or even fair. But it does mean you have the opportunity to pursue your dream, whatever it is. So I leave you with this thought: what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? Thank you. It's been an honor to be with you. Before we close out, I have a little something for our star student and our star teacher, Ms. Grimes. On behalf of the Atlanta Dream, I'd like to present you with an Atlanta Dream sweatshirt. at one of our games or whatever we need to do to get you all there and have you enjoy what we do and recognize you all. And I brought a certificate for every one of the finalists and every one of the teachers. So if you'll come find me afterwards, it has your name on it for two complimentary tickets to our season opener, which is Saturday, May 25th. I hope you all will come. We'll have you all in the same section. We'll put you on the Jumbotron, recognize you on the court, and try to make it a real fun evening. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Preisinger. Maybe I can say that correctly, Preisinger. Right. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experiences, your dreams, your lessons that you've learned. I think that those are very valuable to share with our young people here as you come back. It has certainly been a pleasure to hear you and to share the dream that you have, not to be but thank you so much for being here. And on behalf of the Optimist Club, we'd like to present you with a small token of our appreciation. Just want to say a few words in closing. First of all, to our students that we have honored tonight, we appreciate you so much. We're so very, very proud of you. Because I can certainly say this because I stand here first as an educator in the Pickens County school system, and I'm very proud of that. And some of these students I know personally, and you are very great students. And I know that this is the first step in many steps that you will take to reach those dreams, as you've heard an example of tonight. And it was so apropos of the speech that we've heard tonight, the sharing the dream tonight, that you can pursue that and put aside that fear. It will be there, but put it aside and continue to climb and dream. And thank you, all of you tonight, you educators that have been here, Board of Education, and all other people of the community that have been here to support and celebrate with these young people the great accomplishments that they have had through the several years in high school, in grammar school, and high school, and we have our principals here from every aspect of it, and we're so very proud of having all of you people here to celebrate with the Optimist Club tonight these young people and the accomplishments that they have had. And in closing tonight, we want to run this very much like our club meeting. We open with a bell. We have our business meeting. We have our speaker. And as we close, I would invite you to stand with me. And with your program there, you have an Optimist Creed. And over here on my left is an Optimist Creed banner. And as we close tonight, would you join me in reciting our Optimist Creed? Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Good night, and God bless.